Hey folks, this is Nick Hawks with Paleo Treats. I got Lee here off screen, and she's decided to Napoleon Dynamite a little bit of what I'm doing. Talking a little bit about how to make a better life. So recently I was working with a couple really talented young men, and I was tasked with helping them develop their character. They're already really good at what they're doing in their sport, and a certain client wanted me to come in and help develop character. So I wanted to talk with these guys about three main things, and they're the same things I'm going to share with you guys. So number one is the idea of self-awareness, right? That you have an idea of who you are, and you understand that you are not necessarily your identity. So you're not a business owner or a skier or a whatever it is, a stay-at-home mom or a financial wizard. Right? Those are identity things, those aren't self-awareness things. Self-awareness is knowing that you are a kind of a being in the world and that you have responsibility over what you take in and how you interpret that. So when I think about self-awareness, I think about understanding what your core beliefs are. As an example of core beliefs, the three that I think of that I have that are at the very core of who I am and how I understand my position or my place in this world is number one, that I am responsible for my experience, right? And this is a pretty stoic thing, stoic philosophy, is that it doesn't matter what happens outside of me, it doesn't matter what happens to this body, to this bag of meat and water. I'm responsible for interpreting it however I want to. So I can interpret with pleasure or pain or excitement or happiness or anger or any of those things, but it's on me to interpret that. So, one day you have a good time, and one day you have a bad time. Those times and how you interpret them are completely your responsibility. So number two in my core beliefs is that I'm obligated to use the nature and nurture that I've been given to create this best possible life, right? So obviously, this is how I look in physical reality. It's an advantage. There's no denying that, to be a white guy in America in the middle class. So instead of saying I'm going to throw that away or I'm going to complain about all the things I don't have, I'm going to say, hey, look at what I do have. Is this nature and this nurture the place that got me to where I am? And I'm going to use that to create the best possible life for me and for those around me. And that's an obligation that I have. And then the third thing is, a part of that is only I can decide what that best possible life looks like, and I'm fully responsible for making that decision and then executing on it. So whatever that I end up believing, it's my responsibility. So if I end up being a total psycho and thinking that the best possible life is being a psycho, I'm responsible for all those actions that come out of it. Conversely, if I decide that the best possible life looks like sharing fruit and vegetables from our garden and having a fantastic time with my wife and running a great, helpful business, then I also am responsible for reaping all of the repercussions of that. So self-awareness, core beliefs is the first kind of those big piece. The second part of living an excellent life or the best possible life is this idea of the send me mentality. And it comes from really volunteering for anything. Doesn't matter what it is. If someone asks for a volunteer, if you see that there's a problem, it's on you and it's on all of us to go fix it. If we want to live in a society that is clean, that has laws that help all of us, like traffic lights or stop signs, those things that help us kind of interact with each other in a safe way throughout the day, it's on us to keep those things moving, right? So if you see trash in the street, pick it up. If you walk into a public restroom and the toilet hasn't been flushed, flush the toilet, right? It's on you just to fix these things as you see them. And if you walk into a group or you're in some meeting or you're at work or wherever it is and someone says, hey, can I get help with whatever? Immediately, hand raised, send me. If you do that, you create not just the best possible life for yourself, which is your responsibility, but the best possible life for all of us. And that's pretty darn important. And then the third piece, once you understand who you are with self-awareness and once you build this core part into you of the send me mentality, is self-development. And I break that down into three things, into the moral, the mental, and the physical. When we talk about, and I think those are in order, right? You have the responsibility to develop yourself morally, to understand what your moral code is, and to develop it, right? We're not all born with this perfect moral code. We have the chance to look around and see what is important to us and to build the best possible world for ourselves. So morally, mentally, you've got this obligation to develop yourself mentally, to read books, to watch movies, to get on the internet, however you take in information, but to use this amazing supercomputer that we've all been given, that is a prerequisite for kind of coming into being in the earth as a regular person, and to develop it, right? Because you can be anything. And if you want to check this out and go further down that wormhole, is check out neural Darwinism. I'll be doing a video on that later as well. I'm really excited by that idea. But at the bottom line of this little talk is this idea of mental development as a second piece. And then the third thing, and it's the easiest thing and the most easy to see, is physical development. Is I believe you have an obligation to physically develop your body, to use it as part of your self-personal development. So it doesn't mean you have to be an Ironman winner or even an Ironman participant. You don't have to do triathlons. You don't have to do anything specifically physical. I'm not asking you, hey, everybody should go to the Olympics. But I am saying we've all been given this pretty amazing vessel that can accomplish almost any physical task we set for it. It may take you a couple years to get there, but it's on you, it's on us, on me, to develop this thing and to use it, right? We've been given this incredible opportunity to come here and to develop ourselves in really any arena we want. And I think at the base of all of that self-development is this idea of moral, mental, and physical self-development. So those are the big three things that I think and that I pushed on these young men, and it seemed like it was pretty well received. Message is number one, being self-aware. Number two, being that send me person. And number three, understanding what self-development is and actually going forward and executing on it. Hopefully this video helped you. I gave you something to think about. I really hope that you take something great from it and work with me and yourself to make the best possible life. Thanks so much for listening. Again, this is Nick Hawks of Paleo Treats. If you really want to support what we're doing, you can go buy Paleo Treats. They're pretty amazing desserts. But if not, I'm just happy that you listened to the video, watched, and hopefully you go out and do something. Take care. Ciao, ciao.